A child is born. The seed of possibility is planted. Sarah, a 90-year-old woman, conceives and gives birth to a son. Her laughter becomes his name, Yitzchak. Every Rosh Hashanah, we begin the new year with this story wherein a path that had been blocked for a lifetime is opened. Where there was grief, there is now joy, laughter, and celebration. Where there seemed to be a dead end, there is now a future of possibilities. This is the text our rabbis and sages require us to hear at the turning of the year. These are messages of hope and new beginnings that lay the spiritual foundation for the new year. And yet, this past year has been profoundly difficult and painful for us all. The horror of the atrocities of October 7th, the hostage crisis, the ongoing and expanding war, the devastation in Gaza, the killing of tens of thousands of innocent people, countless children and women, the settler violence and pogroms in the West Bank, the war in Lebanon, the attacks from Iran, and the rising anti-Semitism around the world have been, I believe, for all of us, traumatizing, heartbreaking, and so difficult to process. I have personally been in a state of anguish all year long, and I imagine the same for you. And yet, even so, on this Rosh Hashanah, this new year, I am focused on the phenomena of reversals, in the opening of channels of hope, in planting seeds for new possibilities. This summer, I was deeply moved by President Biden's resignation from his candidacy. It was a singularly powerful act of teshuvah, in my opinion. That is, meaning a suppressing of ego for the sake of higher good. Through this act, President Biden opened up a world of new possibilities. The switch, as it has been called, unleashed a wave of new energy. It's undeniable. And did in fact plant seeds of hope for an otherwise despairing Democratic electorate. The ensuing unanimous nomination of Vice President Harris recalled for me our Purim story, our signature story of political reversal, in which an apparent destiny is turned on its head, wherein a woman whose identity was hidden emerges and is revealed as a new potential leader. And through her actions, in the case of Esther anyway, the fate of the people, our people, was reversed. A fairy tale? Perhaps. But still, a profound lesson in the power of choice and in the possibilities for change. We are living through a wildly dynamic time. Every single day presents us with a new world. I tell you, I'm afraid to turn on the news or read the news every morning. Maybe you feel the same. Because every morning we awaken to a shifting landscape of actors and events, tragedies, but also, I would say, reasons for hope. We are both witnesses and participants in the unfolding story of human life on planet Earth. And every day carries new potentialities. When we hear the shofar's call today, we will respond with the declaration, Hayom Harat Olam. The Machzor translates these words as, today the world stands as at birth. But the word harat doesn't mean birth. It means pregnant. In other words, the literal meaning of this phrase is the world is pregnant with possibilities. On this sacred day, Rosh Hashanah, we celebrate possibilities for creating a new world through the changes we make in ourselves. Ours is a world of light and darkness, and we are all part of that fabric. But Judaism teaches that we have agency. To bear light is a choice. Joy is a choice. And even love is a choice. In his new book, Judaism is About Love, Rabbi Shai Held writes the following: we as individuals are excruciatingly complicated. We are capable of unbridled cruelty and dreadful selfishness, and also of great kindness and immense generosity. We are capable of trampling on the poor and ignoring the weak, and also fighting for justice and siding with the oppressed. We are capable of murderous hate, but also of prodigious love. We are complex beings with contradictory natures, struggling to make our way through an often bewildering world. In the face of all this, Jewish tradition makes a simple but audacious claim. Our conflicting impulses notwithstanding, we remain capable of choosing the good, and the height of good is love. Judaism is not Pollyannish about who and what we are. It is actually not optimistic about human nature, but it is stubbornly, insistently possibilistic. Its deeply held conviction is not that we will choose the good, but that we can do so. We can choose love. The 15th century sage, Rabbi David ben Zimra, offers a beautiful commentary on the law of change that suffuses our world. He reminds us first of the adage from Proverbs, "You do not know what the new day will bring." Truly, we do not know what each day will bring because our world is constantly subject to change and transformation. Everything is in flux, changing in every moment. Our ancient sages acknowledged this universal law, but they referred to it as a potential for us to create change in the world. And they called this principle Sod HaEfshar, the mystery or the secret of possibilities. This mystery of possibilities acknowledges the laws of change that govern our world and includes the idea that these forces can be harnessed and directed through our intentions, through our prayers, through our actions. We are not simply subject to the laws of nature, but rather we can be purposeful actors in utilizing these forces of change. Simply put, once again, what we do matters. In 1966, Bobby Kennedy, then the Attorney General, gave a speech to the young people of South Africa, and in it he described the inestimable power of each individual to affect the entire world. He said, "It is from numberless diverse acts of courage and belief that human history is shaped. Each time a man stands up for an ideal or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope. And crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current that can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance. Every person, yes, each of us has the power to send out a small ripple of hope through our attitudes, our spoken words, and our interactions. And while our small acts of kindness may seem like insignificant contributions to creating the world we wish to live in, they are of infinite value and carry infinite potential as they ripple out into a world of infinite relationships and connections. Now, for many of us, and myself included, the pace of change and the volume of tragic news can feel so overwhelming that we may experience a state of numbness and paralysis. At such times, I urge us to focus instead on what is most important in your life, to do a kind of momentary teshuvah, a return to the here and now, to caring for ourselves and nurturing our essential relationships. These are things we can do. When we feel ourselves getting dizzy, it is time to shut off our devices and turn off the news. Let us focus instead at those moments on calming the inner waves and attending to the care of ourselves, our loved ones, and our community. In such overwhelming times, rather than breaking down or going numb, we can focus instead on increasing our own light, our own joy, and giving gifts of love to those in our circle of contact. Because if we can, then that light and love will surely ripple out and grow. And so I want to ask you now, can you identify for yourself right now an activity or an experience that brings you joy, that increases your light, that puts you in touch with love? Let's think about that for a moment. May we all find a quiet space within ourselves every day to reconnect with what is holy, beautiful, and true in our daily lives. And may those moments of peace ripple outward in ever-expanding circles into our precious world. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May it be so.